I'll say this as a fan, and obviously I come from Canada, so you grow up and hockey's always number one. But it's the thing that separates hockey from all the other sports. Baseball aside, every other sport sort of has their finesse plays and their finesse moments. But the brawls is what, separated hockey, and you were like, yeah, that's why we're the toughest.
It used to.
Right, it used to.
And again, there's great hits. That's cool. You know what I mean? That was a great hit. I think, Dunner had a good hit last night. But you got guys coming in with their gloves on, sticks are up. Like, before, you drop your gloves, everybody would grab a guy. If you fought. If you didn't, you didn't. Those days are gone. But you have to have guys protect your teammates. Good hit or not, you got to have somebody show up. And now they just pig pile and slap each other with their purses and
when
whatever.
When a scrum makes the fucking highlight reel on SportsCenter and they pretend that that's a fucking fight, get out of here, man.
They talk about the fighting and that, and I've said it myself before. Fighting I don't really give a fuck. I'll give you the fight and take it away, but I want the playoff hockey.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. And that's why when you do during the season, when Chicago played St. Louis 8 times, we played Detroit 8 times, there had to be a rivalry. And the reason I say that is if you live in St. Louis, they love your fucking team. They want to be out there fighting with you. And that's why they drew themselves to this game. Mm-hmm. Now there's really you can't go on a war. You're not into a war with them anymore.
Yeah.
Like when we go to Chicago, they call it rivalry. Go fuck yourself. There's no rivalry there anymore. It's it's city against city. There was a rivalry. There was a fucking hatred before. And the fans would in St. Louis and Chicago, they would go in the stands and they would fight during those back in the day. You're not going to see that shit anymore.
It gets more violent in the stands.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. Even now, it just kind of just ended though. It just ended. Like even my last years, the Devils and the Rangers, we fucking hate Lou Lamoriello hated the Rangers.
Yeah,
we fucking hated them. Like, no, we're winning this game. We'd start line brawls and just fucking nuts, and it stopped. And the hatred ended in that last era there.
Yeah,
and it's too bad now. Guys are still doing their thing, and I get that. You don't need to jump guys. I get it. But I want you to fucking get mad. In the game last night, the Blues got mad too, and that's why. But the Blues are separate. They're on their own fucking island, man. They're fucking hardcore because of Craig Berube, which we'll probably get into in a little bit.
The one thing I want to kind of piggyback on that, so when I broke into the NHL in 2000, the coaches were already starting to control the toughness levels in the game. Like Joel Quimble used to say, Lozy, you got the red light. Red light, what does that mean?
Right.
Are we playing fucking Red Rover here? Like, red light? You mean that if I'm on the ice and somebody cross-checks my teammate in the face and it's 5-0, I got a red light? You don't want me to do anything? Really? That's what you want? You want me to turtle?
What about the fans?
So for me, I think that's where it changed for the coaches because they were looking for momentum swings and they kind of abused that position for that. Where they didn't want you to fight when it got up to the point where I wouldn't, to my detriment, I wouldn't listen to Joel. So when we got up 3 or 4 goals, he wouldn't play me because, I was going to go out there and if they called it. But for me, the way that I was raised in it, and Al Tour is my coach, and, he wasn't a heavyweight, but, man, he'd fight anybody, And,
well, I'll tell you what.
And he would always, I would always tell people this. When you're up 3 or 4 goals, you're protecting your lead. When you're down 3 or 4 goals, you're looking to try and change the momentum, and that's what our role was. You know what I mean?
Just as a fan, we watched the Leafs suck for years, constantly getting blown out. You're paying, a good chunk of money for a ticket. Sometimes the only satisfaction you got was a fight as a fan. It was a shit game otherwise.